Today on DNVR Buffs Live, the squad is back together, and we are going to take a look at what games on the schedule are the most winnable, and also what games are the least winnable. Let's dive in. Let's go.
Squad. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. The gang is back together. Welcome
Feels
back.
good.
Big squad.
Good to be back with the squad. This is the first time I've sat in this chair in, I don't know, 20-ish days at least.
It's been a minute. Been there a month.
I mean, that's how I
Feels
felt this time last week on Monday, sitting back in these chairs too. So
It was that's crazy to think about. I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, I haven't slept in my own bed since February 1st
that's wild.
until last
Nice,
night.
dog.
So it's very good to be back.
Big three back. How you doing, bro?
Great,
Good to see you, gang.
great. Wedding looks like it's gonna go on as planned.
We love to hear
Congrats.
that. Let's go.
Congrats.
Huge dub there. What else happened since I last saw you? Went to the Super Bowl.
Sure did.
Yeah.
I have a take on that.
Okay.
I want to hear that.
I've never been in the stadium for a Super Bowl before. And I always thought, like, next time the Broncos make the Super Bowl, like, I'll move mountains to make sure I'm in there.
Sure.
Now, having been there for a game that I was invested in, but not nearly as invested as I was if it was the Broncos, I think I would rather be down there.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
I think I would rather be at the DNVR Bar or just in Denver. Because a couple of reasons. One, Eagles fans pretty much took the stadium over, and it was
Looked like
loud. But because of the way that the Super Bowl has become so corporatized
Yes.
and so expensive for, just no need to beat around the bush, you cut out all like the real demons.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not rowdy at all.
Yeah.
Like, and Eagles fans were having a great time. Allie, they were making friends and having a good time. And after the game, I was like, wow, Bourbon Street's going to be insane. And, like, just wasn't. It was just a lot of people having a good time, enjoying themselves. But, like, the real deal fans
Yep.
were on Broad Street in Philadelphia because
Facts.
how
Yep.
could they afford $5,000+ to go to the Super Bowl? So I think I want to be with the real ones the next time the Broncos are in the Super Bowl.
I love that. I was actually on Broad Street last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl. That was pretty lit. I would recommend.
Yeah, I bet. So the Super Bowl is great. The other thing is, like, one of the things that in my head was like, oh man, like, you go to the Super Bowl, you also get a Kendrick concert. Not really.
Ooh. Yeah, what was that?
Yeah,
what was
it
that
like
like?
being in the building for
It's so made for TV
that? Yeah.
that it doesn't feel like you're at a concert at all. It feels like you're at, like, the filming of a music video or something.
Yeah.
I caught myself mostly just watching the screen, which would sometimes cut to the TV feed, which, like, looked really, really cool. And then I would look down from, like, where I was, which was, like, club level. And I was like, I can't really see anything. Like,
Facts.
I don't know. It was weird. So that part is definitely, like, 100% made for TV.
It's a TV production. Like, at the end of the day, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And going back to your first point, I saw a video, I think the day after the Super Bowl, of like a bar like right in downtown Philadelphia. I think it's like a main Eagles bar. And that place looked absolutely unreal. Like,
Yes.
that's the place you want to be if you're a real fan of just football in general, but especially of a team playing in the Super Bowl. And yeah, I was curious just what that vibe was like, because obviously a lot was made of Kendrick Lamar and the halftime performance. And obviously it was an entire spectacle. But yeah, I was curious to hear kind of vantage point of it from being actually in the building. But that's kind of what I expected. But that was interesting to hear.
One thing I will say, I tweeted out the video of the whole stadium saying
stupid, by the way,
the A minor. Dude, there was so many conspiracies floating around about there was crowd noise pumped in for that. No, there wasn't.
Jesus.
That was actual people who knew that line of the song saying that. And then there was people saying they pumped in boos for Taylor Swift. No, they didn't. Taylor Swift was booed because she's a Chiefs fan and it was all Eagles fans in there. I feel like people are missing that point. She's wearing Chiefs red at the Super Bowl that was 80% Eagles fan. Of course they're going to boo her. I don't think it was some referendum on get her out of football. It's really not that deep.
Chiefs fans are just soft, bro.
So yeah, that was a crazy thing is reading all kind of conspiracy theories about the sounds and whatnot that were going on. I was like, nah, none of that's true.
Yeah, it just seems like it's just an elitist event now. The diehards, if you will, few and far between can get to that event, and it just seems like year after year, especially based on some of these. Where's it going to be next year?
Santa Clara.
Yeah.
I mean that screams elitist. You know what I'm saying in terms of a destination, a location, and that's kind of unfortunate. But I guess it's kind of just the world we live in, where the bottom line is the bottom line, and that's the dollar sign.
Yeah, and I guess a couple other things. I don't want to make it sound like it was a bad experience because it was a good one. It's just not what I'm used to when I go to a sporting event. You go to a sporting event and you have friends there, you want to meet up with them. I don't think that's possible at the Super Bowl.
No.
You have to have a ticket to get to any place that you want to go to. So unless you were in the same section, I think you would have a really hard time meeting up somewhere, going to the bar to get a drink. It's just security was crazy high, which is important and good, especially after what happened in New Orleans not long ago. President's there, obviously, so that ups the security. But it's basically just you got a line that you have to stay on. That's your line straight to your seat. That's about what you could do.
Crazy.
Wow.
Well, we'll be here watching the Super Bowl and celebrating because it's in Santa Clara and the Broncos are going to win it. So.
Hey, last time it was in Santa Clara, the Broncos were there.
Exactly. That's what I'm
history
talking
repeats
about.
itself.
Yes, bro. Super Bowl 50.
Wow.
I've told you this. The greatest Super Bowl of our lifetime.
I do remember you saying that now. Makes sense. I didn't know that was real. I didn't realize I was in Santa Clara.
This one was pretty damn good, though.
This
Watching
one?
the Chiefs
great.
and Patrick Mahomes just get smacked
It was unreal.
all around the field was quite delightful.
Would you have preferred an actual close game, a good game
No.
that the Eagles won at the end? Or
Absolutely not.
No. I want to look down and see frowny faces on the Chiefs sideline for 2.5 quarters.
Surrender Cobras at the end of the first half and all.
The real question, bro, did the belt come out, bro? Did
No.
the belt make an appearance, bro? I was kind of wanting to see a video, bro.
The belt, I realized the belt is reserved for my team.
Fair enough.
I tried to convince Allie to
That would have been hilarious.
she didn't want to do it.
Shout out CJ
dead.
Gardner Johnson.
Yeah,
he
there
brought
was
it
a
up.
lot of belt appearances at the parade.
That's hilarious.
All right. You missed some stuff, bro. Not
catch
much,
me up.
but you missed some stuff. Let's start with this. Damian Lewis is leaving. He's gone. Taking the same position at Miami where he went to college. Obviously became a first-round pick after playing there. Of course, Coach Sapp, George Hilo still in the fold. Neely teases a new DLine hire that is damn good.
Hell yeah.
Your thoughts on all that?
I mean, cost of doing business, right? You have success, you're going to lose coaches. It's just the way it goes. Happens to every program, especially the good ones. I would have liked to just see a little bit of run it back in that room. Now basically Sapp is the only holdover.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Did D-Lu go to Miami?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's cool for him. It is what it is. As we always say when a position opens, Coach Prime's network is going to allow him access to a great, bevy of options. And last year, no one knew who Damian Lewis was.
Yep.
Obviously, he from his NFL days, but I mean, no one was heralding him as a big-time coach who's going to come in and lift up the defensive line, and then he came in and did just that. So it'll be interesting to see who they can go get, and I'm sure a year from now we'll be talking about what a great hire it was.
100%. And something I talked about last week too when we were talking about it, I just love how Coach Prime has assembled this roster, particularly on the offensive line, the defensive line, where there's multiple voices, there's multiple coaches in that room. So when a D-Lou leaves, when a coach Lode Holt leaves, there's still guys in that room who guys are familiar with. Like on the offense, guys are still familiar with Gunnar White. On the defensive side, like you mentioned, guys are still familiar and very much taking a liking to Warren Sapp. You don't have to start over when you make a move, when somebody moves on, when you have success like this. And that's something I really like, obviously, about this staff that Coach Prime has assembled, where you don't necessarily have to start over when you inevitably have success and guys move on. You still have kind of your core, your culture still in the building in the form of a Gunnar White, in the form of a Warren Sapp. So, that's just dope. And good luck to D-Lou. He did a hell of a job here in 2024, helping that D-line, that pass rush lead the Big 12 in sacks. Yeah, he earned a chance to go home and go back to coaching his squad, his alma mater.
I have 2 questions for you guys on this, just because I was disconnected and wasn't keeping up. Why so late?
That I do not know.
Okay.
I don't know what happened with Miami to make this happen so late. If they just fired a guy or what, I don't know.
Okay. Other question is, did they try to come get Sapp too?
I mean, might as well. That's another alum, right?
Yeah, I mean,
well, there was a video that just came on my timeline this weekend where Coach Sapp was on some podcast that I hadn't heard of. Did you see that? Yeah, where he was talking about Miami was interested in him in pretty much the same role that he has right now in Colorado, but he was pretty much told that he had to work 20 hours a day and something, and obviously that's not going to work for Warren Sapp.
Who would that work for?
Right, that just sounds insane, especially for a graduate assistant. And so I don't know if the timing of that was this offseason or if that was last season before he came to Colorado, but let Sapp tell it there was at least some interest from Miami on his part.
Yeah.
I mean, they already have Jason Taylor there,
right?
Coaching D-line as well. So, I mean, they might just be trying to assemble the Avengers, former NFL playing defensive line coaching staff.
I appreciate Coach Sapp's loyalty if they did try to get him and he stayed.
I mean, we asked Coach Sapp at the Super Bowl, would you want to be a DC or whatever? It sounds like he just wants to do this role for Coach Prime, his friend. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. It looks fun as hell. So
yes,
for real.
Shedeur is the all-time college football passing leader in completion percentage. Did you know that?
I didn't. I thought I saw that, and then I think there was a note in the CU notes each week that talked about that. Mm-hmm. But it was including Jackson State.
Yeah.
And I think even if you remove Jackson State, which I don't think you should have to, he still is.
Yeah. By damn near 1.5 percentage points.
Yep.
Over Colt Brennan, 71.8 to 70.4.
Now, maybe I'm just not as tuned in because Broncos aren't looking for a quarterback, so I'm not looking as closely. But, I feel like last year, this time, all you heard about was Bo Nix's accuracy. Mm-hmm. It was just...
In a good way or a bad way?
In a great way.
Because he threw 70-some% too.
Yeah, it was he had the most accurate season of all time, and this is going to translate so well. And I just feel like I'm not hearing Shedeur's accuracy be lauded in the same way.
I mean, both throw an outrageous 77.4% last year.
Yeah.
For the whole year, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's wild.
And people can say, oh, the offense was designed for that. Good. That's what it should be done to do.
He had 11.2 average yards per attempt. That's crazy.
Also, then just show people the throw to Marvin. Was it Mims? The first touchdown against the Bengals? That deep throw to the back of the end zone? No.
Oh,
Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
55, 60-yard dot.
Yep.
Perfect placement. So that, to me, there's 2 things that I always talked about when it comes to Shedeur at the next level. One is the accuracy. You just can't teach that, and it applies to everything.
Yeah.
If you can put the ball wherever you want to put the ball, then you're accurate, and that translates to the next level. Certain throws are going to have to be faster, whatever, but he can put it on a platter anywhere on the field. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is just his football IQ, and I think the combination of those 2 things is going to translate to immediate success in the NFL for Shedeur.
We agree.
I mean, when you mention some of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football now in history, you have to mention Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to.
You have to.
If you don't put him at the top of the list, he has to be top 3, top 5. And again, I'm only 20 whatever years old. I don't have the complete Rolodex of college football history. You
watched a lot of these guys, though, bro.
But exactly. And a lot of these guys have come probably in the last 20, 30 years. And again, Shedeur has to be up there. And RK, I got a question for you because Jake and I have kind of dabbled with this idea the last week. I'm almost at a point where I don't know if there is a bad fit for Shedeur Sanders. And I'm getting, and that's kind of where I'm getting, where it's because a lot of what you talked about, when you can place the ball wherever you want, when you have a A++ football IQ and a processor that can allow you to see what a defense is going to do before they even do it, I find it hard for that type of player to fail. When you add in, obviously, the football acumen, his background being the son of a Pro Football Hall of Famer and whatnot, people say, I don't want him to go to Cleveland. I don't want him to go to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm at the point where I think he can make it work wherever. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he can too. I think everyone just wants their preferred fit, right?
Sure, and there are some fits that are better than others, but I don't know if there's a bad fit for that guy.
And this is where I just come back to. I talked about this the day that we had the conversation about generational when that quote came out from the Titans. And I mean this as obviously no disrespect to the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter. I think that if the Titans don't take Shedeur Sanders, no matter who they take, they're going to regret it. Unless they find a quarterback the next year or the year after that, which
I hear you on that.
Every time you kick the can down the road, there's no guarantee that you're going to get that guy. And so Travis Hunter is going to make a remarkable difference for a team. And depending on how much they'll let him, it could be different than anything we've ever seen. It's a quarterback league, and it always will be.
If you don't have one, you're lost.
And they don't have a semblance of one right now.
No.
They don't have anything in the form of a quarterback. And so, yes, you can take Travis Hunter and say, we're taking the best football player here, which you would be right, and say, we'll get a quarterback later. But there's no guarantee. Or, what if you fall, or if you win a couple games because of Travis Hunter? Now you have a worse pick. To me, everything you just said is why I'm just like, if I'm the Titans, I'm saying, give me Shedeur Sanders. I think that this guy is going to be a great quarterback in this league, and we can't pass up on our opportunity to get that.
I completely agree, bro. You got to start with a quarterback. It's going to be fascinating to see what Tennessee does, but that's probably what I do. That's kind of where I'm at with it. You got to get that clock started with a franchise quarterback.
We got to take a break. My only point, Scotty, was just don't send Shedeur to the Jets. That's all I was trying to say.
I get that.
Fair enough. I'm with Scotty on this one, though.
Let's go.
All right, let's take our first break. Shout out to the homies over at Bet365. NBA is back this week after the All-Star break. NHL as well. So make sure you log in with our friends over at Bet365. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code DNVR365. And you'll get $100 in bonus bets. All you got to do is deposit $10, place a bet of $5. As soon as that bet wins or loses, that bonus bets money will be deposited into your account. The bonus bets can be used on literally anything: SGPs, spreads, totals, futures, player props, whatever the moment. Never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Quick Bet365 story.
Okay.
I'm walking into my seat at the Super Bowl, and I realize I haven't placed any bets.
That's a problem.
So I open up Bet365. I've got like seconds until kickoff.
Yeah.
I made 2 bets. Devontae Smith anytime touchdown.
Nice.
So crazy, bro.
Eagles defense special team anytime touchdown.
Out of here.
That the defensive touchdown screwed like everyone's SGPs, and everyone's like,
Why?
because like that got rid of like the Saquon anytime, like Jalen got his, like
Saquon anytime was probably a massive winner for Vegas.
I thought I was a genius, bro. I had Saquon 2 touchdowns. It was like plus like, I don't even know, like 2,100 or something.
You just reminded me that I did have one more bet. I had Jalen Hurts 4+ touchdowns.
Oh my God.
Because
That was probably juicy
I was
as
just
fuck.
scrambling through and I was like, what if they just push every touchdown?
Right. I was like, I could definitely see Saquon getting 2. Like, I could definitely see that for sure. Sure enough, he gets 0. So that was dope.
I think championship week there was a couple players who had 3. Saquon and one other person I think had 3 touchdowns that week. So I was like, man, the 3 touchdown bet is crazy.
Yeah.
Might have been Josh Allen. I don't know.
And then also shout out to our friends at Breckenridge Brewery.
Big shout out to our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. The best when it comes to craft beer. A true Colorado success story. Started literally in Breckenridge, Colorado. One little brewery, and we're able to make it into a national brand that's respected across the beer community. There's so many great iterations, but some of the staples that they've had forever are the Vanilla Porter and the Avalanche Amber Ale. They always got cool stuff going with the local teams and just really great beers across the board. So check out our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. And if you're in Colorado, you got to go down to the farmhouse because it has elite food and also different types of beers and stuff that are kind of just available there. So it's fun to go check it out. And you can even tour the facility as well. Check out our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery.
Shout out to the farmhouse for real, though.
Fire food.
Place is great.
Go check it out. Real quickly, Jake. Shedeur Sanders NFL draft odds as of this morning.
Okay.
New York Giants are at first place at plus 200.
Okay.
It's 33% pretty much. The Raiders are second, plus 250, about 28%. Browns are third, plus 500, about 16%. The Titans are fourth, plus 550, who hold the number 1 overall pick. Then the Jets, plus 1,000. Then the Field, plus 600. Just find that interesting.
Some good odds on Tennessee right there.
Some pretty solid odds on Tennessee right there.
Yep. Especially because I took Shedeur Sanders' number 1 overall pick before the college football season even
So did
started.
I, yeah.
But it was only plus 400.
Yep.
That's
So
crazy.
you can get better odds on it now.
Yep.
I honestly just bet that just so I could say I had it if it happened. It's like a novelty.
I hope, man. I've been holding that one for a minute. Combine invites. The NFL Scouting Combine has invited Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, LaJohntay Wester, and Jimmy Horn Jr.
Who else?
That's it. That is it.
No, who else from the Buffs got invited?
No, that's it.
What? You must be mistaken.
No,
Where's Cam Silman-Craig?
no Cam Silman-Craig. The guy Will Shepard who tore up the Shrine Bowl, not invited. Sanders, Shiloh, not invited. The list. BJ Green, who made the Hula Bowl, not invited.
It's crazy, dog.
Yeah, it's insane.
Crazy. But to me, well, there's a bunch of big snubs on there. When I saw Cam tweeted about it, and I was just like, this is actually good for him. That's my spin.
I 100% agree with that.
Give him just keep putting that chip on his
Yes.
shoulder. Never take it off. And every time that you add him a little fuel, that chip gets a little bit bigger.
Yep.
And he's always got something to prove.
Yeah.
But now he just added one more thing to the list.
Yep. I talked to Cam this weekend. Go be on the lookout for that story coming to the DNVR for the diehards this week. But I asked him about that quickly, and he was just like, it's a slap in the face, but that's something he's used to in terms of the way he's been talked about coming from HBCU, coming from Jackson State. But he also, at the same time, said he's not really tripping because that pro day, everybody going to be there.
It's true.
And that day is going to be a movie, and he's going to have plenty of opportunity to prove why he belongs at the next level, and he will for sure.
Last thing is recruiting.
That's something we should write down to talk to Thomas Dimitrov when we get him to come in studio.
Yeah.
I want to know how NFL teams view who's invited to the combine. Do they view that as a feather in their cap, or do they view it more as just it's just another chance we get to look at them?
That's interesting. Real quickly, too, on Will Shepard, who was obviously a combine snub as well. Mina Kimes at ESPN yesterday. A real true ball knower.
For real.
Never thought I'd heard Mina Kimes just randomly on a Sunday afternoon in February tweet about Will Shepard, but she did.
Yeah.
She goes, random draft thought while watching Shedeur. Will Shepard is an intriguing prospect. Great movement skills plus body control for his size. Been writing his number down a lot. And that kind of goes in what you've been saying for sure. Just in terms of he has the ability after Travis and Shedeur, obviously, to be that first buff taken because one team in particular is going to fall in love with the traits, with the 6'3", the 6'4" frame, his fluidity in and out of routes, his ability to go up and track the football and jump ball situations and one-on-one situations. A team is going to fall in love with him, and I think Will Shepherd's going to be a good pro for a long time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he's not able to run at the combine because I think if he put up a good time, he really could have been the first Buff drafted after those two guys.
Facts.
It really is. And I think that would probably be the answer on what these guys, how they look at the combine. It's just the most accurate numbers you're going to get.
Right.
Exactly.
So it gives them a little more confidence. They know the 40 time is legit. They know the vertical is legit, etc. I guess you can't really fake a vertical at a pro day.
True.
But the 40 times, you know.
He's going to have a little asterisk next to it.
My question
For
is,
sure.
if I'm Colorado or really any program, why wouldn't I just put a laser time 40 at my pro day?
I don't know, and I don't know how.
Is it because
they do
you
it.
want to cook the numbers a little bit?
Maybe, but like that's one of those things where like we get the numbers like after the event, like somehow. So I don't know if I don't think they're laser time, but there's obviously some process of.
No,
what's
they're
the
hand
most-
time for sure.
Okay.
Anyways, Will is such an intriguing prospect to me and such an interesting story because I always talk about how narratives are written early in the season. And I think that the Will Shepherd narrative just got off to the wrong foot. And it led to him not being appreciated for as good as he was starting at UCF, basically. From then on out, he was reliable, made a lot of big plays, touchdown catches, did a ton of great things for this team. But basically from the drop on the 1 yard line from Baylor back to the beginning of the season, he wasn't the player that we expected him to be. And I think that people never necessarily let him free from that narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also at the same time, I feel like that's more of a fan thing. I feel like NFL scouts and dudes who are really watching film in these NFL front offices, they don't care about that one drop at the 1 yard line that really was really inconsequential to the game.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They're more so looking at the other 99%, what he did at Vanderbilt for 3 years, what he did, like you said, pretty much from UCF on. I'll never forget that UCF touchdown catch that he had.
Bro, that was insane.
That was it. I literally remember being up in the box, and I'm like, Shador, why did he, like, that's probably going to be picked off. And Will Shepherd just leaps into the frame and makes a ridiculous catch. Like I said, one team in particular is going to fall in love with that young man, and they're going to look smart when they draft him.
It's kind of like he mossed him while diving.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You know what I mean? Because like you think of a moss,
crazy.
it's like they had a chance to pick it. You just pulled it right off their head. Like it was gonna land right in that guy's arms. He just dove and stole it.
Literally, bro, that was nuts.
Do we have to take a break? Let's take our final break here. RK, how good does it feel to be back with the Toyota, man?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I was actually driving around a Toyota through the streets of San Jose del Cabo.
Ooh.
And it was great because all Toyotas are great. This one was a Highlander, an older Highlander, too. It had like 108,000 miles on it. Running smooth as can be. That's what Toyotas do. Just a reminder to me that my Toyota, which I think has like 35 on it right now.
That's not bad.
It's got, I mean, at least a decade left in it.
It's got a lot more, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just what a beautiful thing when you buy a Toyota to know that you've just, secured a vehicle for many, many years. And I can't say enough great things about my Toyota. So if you don't have one yet, you should get one now by going to a Front Range Toyota store, including AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain State Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota Eastern Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West. And Lakewood Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Toyota, let's go places.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Ice Shaker. It is officially the football offseason. Super Bowl's done. We're getting ready for the draft. For me, that means it's time to get back in the gym. So I need my Ice Shaker. I need something to take in the gym. I need something that's durable for when all those weights are out in there because I've had some accidents in the gym before. So I need
dropped a weight on your water bottle?
Well, it's usually my phone that gets the.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I've had it happen before.
Some heavy weights this guy's throwing around,
bro. Those 20s can do damage.
But anyway, shout out to Ice Shaker. They're team branded Ice Shakers bottles. We got tons of teams. I mean, you get your Broncos one. Do they have basketball? They got Nuggets and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So get into the basketball spirit for the second half of the season with an ice shaker. Use the code ALLCITY25 for 25% off your order. Ice shakers, show your support for your teams with the best branded workout bottles on the market.
Tell them put some spec on your name, bro. I know you be up there throwing.
No, it is what it is.
It
It is what it is. Last thing is just recruiting. The Buffs offered 5-star wide receiver Chris Henry Jr., the
Demon.
#1 wide receiver in this class.
Demon.
How about, you like names? How about Ethan Booby Feaster?
Yeah.
The #1 player in 2027 reclassifies to 26 and puts CU in a top 12.
Should be feasting on Big 12 defenses.
Yeah. And then 4-star quarterback Oscar Rios to visit June 20th.
Yep. I just know he's a dog. Watched him play. That's just the weirdest part about quarterback recruiting. Not something I'm familiar with because CU has not recruited quarterbacks well historically. Like, did these other fan bases just get excited about a new quarterback every year? I feel like I put so much energy into the Juju Lewis recruitment. Then I was like, oh, we're set for years. But now I want Oscar Rios.
Yeah.
He's nice, bro. Rios is nice, bro. He can sling it, bro. He can run a little bit too. 6'3". He's gonna put on the weight to go along with that height as well. And I think it says a lot. I'm pretty sure this. I think this is his first visit that he's making this cycle, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously he's got obviously a couple other offers, Big 12, as well. So it's gonna be a good get, bro. My man is nice.
I think Phillip Rivers is his cousin.
For real?
No way.
Rios means rivers in Spanish.
I'm dead.
He was committed to Purdue, though. Ryan
Right,
Walters got
right.
him. He got fired. He decommitted.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like actually he's going to Oklahoma State at the end of April, then Utah, then Arizona, then Colorado.
Oh,
Okay, they're last. Got you.
Yeah.
got a tour set up.
All right.
I'm not going to name names now that we've moved past the recruiting segment, but if certain commitments happen, I'm going to have a great story to tell from the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Understood. Yes, you will.
Can't wait. All right, let's you know what? It's Tiersday. I don't care what anyone else says. I'm deeming it Tiersday.
Say less, bro. You got that power. You can.
I
that.
do have that power, and I'm going to utilize that power. We are ranking the Buffs' most winnable 2025 games on a tier list today. What are we going to do for tomorrow's show? Stay tuned and find out.
Every day is Tiersday in the off season.
Okay, so we're going to start. Should we do it in the order that it's on there? Because that is just a random mess.
Yes.
Or we can do it in the order of the schedule.
Let's do it in the order of the schedule.
All right, so first up is GT, Georgia Tech, the season opener. It sounds like this one's going to be played in prime time. It's scheduled
be.
right now for Saturday, August 30th. We had a Friday game last year. That'd be fun to do that again.
Give me
right?
that Friday game.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. Plus, the Friday game is just so great because then you just spend all of Saturday
Yes,
watching
bro.
the first
Yep.
week of college football. Let's get it done.
So S tier is
S tier,
so winnable.
most
Absolutely
winnable.
Okay.
all the way to F tier, where basically why even show up? It's an automatic L. So S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, F tier.
Hey, Georgia Tech a good football team, bro.
They are.
They got a good quarterback, or an experienced quarterback, I should say, a dual threat guy who's played a lot of college football. I'm gonna say out the gate here, this is like B. I'm thinking B tier in terms
Yeah.
of winnability.
This is B or C to me. It's I guess B it really is C.
Right.
This is one of the toughest games on the schedule, I think. Just because of the situation. You're playing a good team in week one with a lot of fresh faces on the field, including a new quarterback.
Facts.
And they return their quarterback.
Yep.
Early in the season, that stuff matters more than later in the season. This is a challenge. This is B tier.
This is a team that's recruited really well over the last couple of years
That too.
Looks like they're starting to take advantage of that natural pipeline in Georgia. Next up is Delaware. S tier. Do we even have to?
Yeah, if people can't recognize the logo, just off looking at it, it's S tier.
Blue Hens, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Fighting Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco's little brother.
At
all I know.
Houston. Week 3 is at Houston, the Big 12 opener. Right in between the final 2 non-conference games. Houston, a frisky team last year. We did tier lists for Big 12 contenders last week. Scotty's not as high on Houston as I am. Not like I'm saying Houston's going to be a complete dark horse to win the conference. I just think they're going to be a better football team than they were last year. So I would put this like probably B tier, honestly.
Honestly, tiering these is a weird way of doing it, just to be honest. Like, I would have just gone 1 through 12, but I think I just don't know where this is going to fall. I think it's A.
I would not be upset with that. It's at Houston in September. It's going to be hot, and I'm expecting this team to be quite a bit better.
Somehow we're better in hot environments.
That's almost why I say
TCU, UCF.
That's almost why I say S tier. Again,
Ooh.
I put Houston in F tier last week when we were ranking Big 12
Yeah,
contenders.
big disrespect.
So, I mean, I think if we're going to put one Big 12 game in the S tier, it would have to be the Houston game, I would think. So that'd probably be my guess.
I don't think I will put one there.
Right. So if you
Yeah,
had to put one.
yeah.
If you had to put one. So I would say S tier, but if y'all both say A tier, I'm fine with that.
Turret Stain.
But
Wyoming. This is an S tier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last one, Alyssa. BYU. The Cougars are coming to Boulder September 27th. Obviously, we got to get back some revenge after the Alamo Bowl.
Got to get that lick back.
I don't know how good BYU is going to be. I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of 23 and 24-year-olds. I don't know if they have 25-year-olds this year.
Do
Because of
they
COVID.
keep their quarterback?
Yes, Retzloff is back.
It's not good.
It's one of those bottom 2 ones for sure. This is going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
It's good that it's in Boulder.
I don't think I'm putting anything in the F tier, and I'm definitely not, or D tier. I'm definitely not putting a home game there. Is that F? Does it go to C to F?
Yeah, C to F, yeah.
Some weird gamer shit, probably.
Just put the hardest game in the bottom tier then.
I don't think anything goes in F to me. I would put this in C.
All right, put it in C.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Next, yes. Next up, we have TCU.
At TCU.
At TCU. Again, we're going back to Fort Worth.
What time of year is it?
This one's in early October, October 4th.
Still warm, probably.
So it's not going to be first game of the season hot.
yeah.
It's not going to be end of the season cold, though. Kind of a happy medium.
I kind of look at this similarly to how I look at Georgia Tech. Quarterback that's returning, a well-coached team as well. And you're obviously, like you said, you're on the road in this one as well, like Georgia Tech. So I would slot that right next to Georgia Tech in the B tier.
Me too.
Yep. Very similar game, in my opinion, to that Georgia Tech game. Next one. Iowa State's coming to town. A team that was in Big 12 title contention till late in the year. Matt Campbell, just one of the most consistent head coaches in college football. Rocco Becht is back at quarterback. They lose their wide receivers. Jalen Knowles in the NFL draft. So
Jaden Higgins as well.
that's true.
said
But
is
the
in Boulder?
quarterback is back?
Yeah,
Rocco
Becht
Becht's
is back. Yeah,
This is in Boulder, yes.
This is B.
I agree.
Yep. The harder games are in the back end of the schedule, it seems.
That's what they said last year. By they, I mean us.
Yes, I am.
And everyone
Donnie.
else.
Yes, I am. Just rolling with the punches today. Next one, Utah. At Utah, October 25th. This is after a bye week, the first bye week of the year. So you have that going for you, but you are going to a new-look Utah team with one of the best transfer quarterbacks in the country. Could be Kyle Whittingham's last ride, and it's Utah. They're going to be better than they were last year, bar none.
Yeah, someone said in the comments this is potentially F. No way to me. I'm not I'm not buying like a full scale one off season turnaround for Utah. They were bad last year.
I think that's what's the word?
An outlier.
Yes.
It certainly is an outlier based on the previous 10 years before that.
Right.
But is Devin Dampier going to flip the entire program?
If he can do what Tyler Huntley did, which Tyler Huntley took him, I think, to multiple Pac-12 titles, they're going to be really, really good. And I think he can do that. He can run around like that.
I'm going to be the low on Utah guy on this podcast, which is fine with me.
All right.
So I'm going to get overruled no matter what. So I'm going to let you guys decide where you think.
Bro,
this
I
goes.
was with you earlier when you were like, I'm not going to put any game in the F tier. And when you said that, I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm not either, bro. But when I heard...
If you try to put this in the F tier, I'm going to cause an uprising.
This is...
When I heard Jake run through everything that this matchup entails...
Hold on. Let me just... Before you try to do something crazy, let me just... The F tier is the opposite of the S tier.
Right.
Which means winning this game is as hard for Colorado as it is for Delaware or Wyoming to beat Colorado.
Okay. All right. That's important.
It is quite clearly one of the toughest games on the schedule and one of the longest shots for Colorado to win.
Because of the road.
Crazy.
Coming off a bye, like you mentioned, which
Yes.
obviously this team kind of struggled with, particularly early on the season in 2024. This team hasn't won in Salt Lake City since 2011. I think there's been 6 or 7 matchups since in that time. It's a tough
They
place to
almost won
play.
with Ryan Staub. Should have.
They probably should have. You're right.
Yes.
Put this in the C. Let's move on.
Wow.
There's no F tier games.
Okay.
You literally described F tier as might as well not even show up.
I mean, it's the hardest game on the schedule.
Might as well not even show up?
You said that today during the show?
That's how he described the F tier when you set this up.
We got 14 more minutes on the show. Let's just get through it.
Oh my God, bro.
Next up is Arizona. They're coming to Boulder this year. Their team sucks. They're in S tier.
That's A to me.
Arizona. I got to play tiebreaker here.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have the same chance as Houston to beat Colorado. So, yeah, I would put them A tier.
Put them A tier. Next, we go to West Virginia, the longest road trip of the season.
Morgantown.
Who knows how good they're going to be? Rich Rod is back. They ran the hell out of the football last year. It didn't always lead to wins.
I think this is also A tier.
The only thing that's giving me hezzy on that is going all the way across the country for it. And
far trip.
What's the time? What's the date?
November 8th. It is going to be chilly.
Yeah.
Will be chilly.
Not that chilly, though. At least.
It's kind of what I said last week about West Virginia. I don't know nothing about West Virginia. Like, I probably know them least of any team on Colorado's schedule. Like, I don't know who they're going to roll out a quarterback. I don't know what they're going to look like defensively. So for that reason, I say A tier.
What do you think, Jake?
Pretty much the same. I mean, I don't know what this team is going to be. They have a new head coach. They were kind of one of the weird, like, mid-tier Big 12 teams last year where I think they had a game. It might have just been against Oklahoma State. They put up like 42 points and 300-plus rushing yards. Mm-hmm. But other weeks they couldn't score the football or couldn't score at all. They couldn't move the football. So I'd probably say A tier, but I don't know. I think Arizona is an easier game than those two.
I'm in on A tier mostly because I hate coaching reunions. Hate them.
Wait, you said you hate what?
Coaching reunions.
Oh.
Like, you hate to go up against them, or
No,
you don't
I
think they
hate-
work?
They just don't work?
Yeah.
Like Scott Frost coming back to UCF?
Yeah, what worked was Bill Snyder coming back to Kansas State. That worked.
Yeah.
But I can't think of another one.
Yeah.
Did Brady Hoke go back to San Diego State?
He did, actually, yes.
Clearly didn't work.
So did Rocky Long, I think.
Yeah. I just feel like that never works. You lost the magic. You lost the momentum. You took the
fired
bigger
him
job.
for a reason.
Or you fired him.
Like,
And that doesn't
you gonna bring
happen.
him back?
Because Rich Rod didn't get fired. He left.
Yeah, he went to Michigan.
From Michigan,
Yep.
yeah.
it doesn't work for like big time jobs. Like USC is never going to hire Sark back. No, I don't care how good Sark. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that one ended very poorly. So that
for
was
sure.
definitely
But like,
not happening.
he's like an actual good coach now. Like if USC had a coaching vacancy, like you should look at Sark, but they wouldn't.
For sure.
2 pretty tough games coming up here. This one's at home, ASU. This is also coming off a bye, the second bye week, November 22nd in Boulder.
No Scattaboo in Boulder.
Yeah.
I want this in the B tier.
So do I. That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
They don't scare me for real, at least at this moment in time.
Last game is at K-State to end the season. I think this and Utah are the toughest games on the schedule.
Yeah.
At K-State, yeah, it's going to be cold as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's in the C.
Definitely.
That's a pretty balanced little tier list we made there.
Yep, non-conference are the only S tiers, although Arizona should be there. I mean, come
Arizona
on.
still has Fafita.
Thank you, bro.
They're coming to Boulder this time, too.
I know. But they don't belong in a category with Delaware and Wyoming.
They lost their entire team to the portal besides Fafita.
That might be a good thing, though, because they were ass last year. That might be a good thing to lose a lot
I
of
guess.
those guys.
I mean, the year before, they won 10 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, including a win in Boulder. So, like, led by Noah Fafita. Obviously, T-Mac's gone. We'll see. I think that's appropriately placed, though.
All right.
A for Arizona.
There you go. Let's get to the chat. Or do you want to do... I want to talk about potential playoff changes. We can get to that later in the week, though. But CU men's basketball finally won a Big 12 game.
Got a dub, man. Shout out to them. It was,
thank God, man.
After 13 losses, it was the program's longest losing streak since the 1985-86 season. And honestly, it was cool because, for a lot of reasons, but I think the coolest part of it was earlier in the week, true freshman Sebi Rancic pretty much guaranteed that they would win on Saturday.
Hey.
He goes, I think it's 100% chance that we get our first win on Saturday. Like, obviously, they had been trending in the right direction the games prior, obviously losing some late, but I thought that was a really cool moment. A true freshman to kind of put it out there. And he did. He did. He had 11 points, hit a few threes, 7 rebounds as well, Sebi did. So this was obviously a team effort. That's how this team has to win at this point. And honestly, I just think that's a moment you can look back on. I think Sebi Rancic, I think we both believe, all three of us believe that he's going to be a really good player here at Colorado. And that might be a moment that you like look back on 2 or 3 years from now. Remember when that team was winless, 0-13 in the Big 12, and a true freshman was like, nah, this ends this weekend. We're going to get our first dub. And obviously it came to fruition. Obviously they beat UCF at home this week, 76-63, a 13-point win, snapping a 13-game losing streak in the Big 12. And that's just huge because the rest of the schedule is tough, to say the least. That might have been their best chance at getting a dub in the conference. They finish out with Iowa State, who's number 10 in the country right now. Baylor after that, number 17 ranked Kansas after that, and then they close with K-State, Texas Tech, who I didn't realize is cold this year. Yeah. They're really good, and then they close with TCU, which could be another opportunity for a Big 12 win. But
you didn't want that pressure going into the last week of the season.
Exactly. So good for
I'm
them
happy for those guys. This was tough.
Yeah, no one deserves to go winless.
No,
it was tough. And honestly, they put themselves in a lot of games.
Yeah.
And they just had no closing ability. And so it's nice to see them get over the hump. Here's my prediction. They're going to catch someone. One of those teams that you said they weren't going to beat.
Okay.
They're going to catch them before the season ends.
I can see that. And I can see them stealing one potentially based on a matchup in the Big 12 tournament as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Let's get to questions. Denver Monkey asks, not trying to be that guy, just curious, why do you never see Juju in videos other than cameos? Just more reserved. I do think he's a little bit more reserved. I also think he's just a freshman. They don't show too many freshmen. Like, last year, I don't think was getting into videos much, but he was, as it progressed, as the season progressed and all that. So
he's the enigma. That's what he calls himself, bro.
Isn't that the name of Aaron Rodgers' documentary?
I have no idea.
Is it? I think it is.
That's kind of hard.
I have a new, fresh, unique perspective on this. and I won't share why, but Juju is really just about that action. For real. And I don't think that he's against the cameras by any means. He's had them following him around since he was in 8th grade.
Literally.
But he's coming in with such a rare perspective in terms of he wants to earn everything. He looks at himself as like, I'm just a freshman who just got here. Like I have to I have to do something before I deserve cameras. I have to do something before I deserve media.
Yeah.
I got to prove myself. And I genuinely don't think that he wants that stuff handed to him. And I think that when he wins a starting job or something along those lines starts to happen, you'll start seeing more Juju and you'll start to see his personality come out. But I think he's like, letting his actions do the talking right now. And that's like that's what you would always want from a freshman or a rookie in the NFL. Like I've heard some horror stories in the NFL when I was covering it from guys who walk in as the high draft pick and think like, I'm the shit now, get out of my way.
Yeah.
And that doesn't play well at all. It plays much better, even if you're almost acting it a little bit.
Yeah.
To be like the understated guy who's just come in, hey, I'm just here to work and do my job and hopefully earn your respect.
Yeah, and if he does what we all really expect him to do, what he expects to do, like he's gonna have the camera in his face. He's gonna have plenty of opportunities to be on camera, and I think he's maybe even relishing the fact that the camera isn't in his face at this point in time. Like he almost has like some time to where, because like you said, the camera's been in his face. He's been in documentaries since he was, in 8th grade. Like he might actually relish this time where he's not all the time in the spotlight, because again, a few months from now, he might very well be the spotlight, the reason why the camera's always on.
Next, SN Services. Who's going to be the third buff drafted? I'm picking LaJohntay with Horn as 3A.
I'm also picking LaJohntay.
Yeah, I think I'd pick LaJohntay too.
LaJohntay is getting a lot of good draft Twitter buzz.
Yep.
Like fans of NFL teams, like we need this guy. Like he needs to be a Steeler, a Giant, whatever.
Just my opinion. Asks, who do you guys think we get for the DLine coach? Think we get Aaron Donald.
Are you being serious?
No.
I was gonna say that would be sick.
I have no idea.
It'd be amazing.
I like our guy Matt H. He's been on the Domata Pecco train.
Yes.
And I'll share more if that ever actually happens. But I covered Domata Pecco for multiple seasons in Denver when he was on the Broncos, and he is one of the most down to earth, like thoughtful, just great human beings I was ever around covering the NFL. I would just love if he were around more, because he's just one of those people that like being around him makes you happier.
I believe it.
Hell yeah.
I'm going with DeMarcus Ware as my guess.
Let's go. Another guy who I covered as a Bronco, who was just a great, great human.
Yeah, I believe it.
Von Werewolf. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Stevie Davey asks, or says, ISU kind of thin in big targets, right? Yeah, they lost both their wide receivers to the NFL draft. So we'll see. Actually, Dion was telling me, he reminded me, Chase Sewell. He had a great year at ECU at East Carolina. He's at Iowa State now, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I always liked his potential.
Yeah, he's a player. Oh, here we go.
Can we save this until we see some more football?
No, we have to.
Spring practices really aren't that far away.
Nope. Pick a favorite. Who's going to be the quarterback now? Also, what do you think the record of the team is going to be? Who do you think is going to make it to Dallas?
All right.
Who's going to win the national championship?
Fine, I got Juju.
Heisman Trophy?
8-4. Texas. Heisman Trophy. Arch Manning.
If I speak, I get in trouble.
I'm already a hater already. So,
I know, that's true.
So I mean, we saw some clips of Caden throwing with Shador recently. It looked good throwing the football.
There was some whip on those throws.
100%. Talented guy.
I got Juju.
Super chats.
I ain't scared to say it.
You shouldn't be scared to say that.
You
You're not
shouldn't,
going to get
facts.
anything for saying that. But FC Medina Miller says, am I missing something? BYU beat the snot out of us in C tier. I feel like that was dominant, so it should at least be A. Let me know.
Oh, you've got it upside down.
Salter or Juju? Also, Coach Faulk. Yes, Coach Faulk, big time.
Wait,
We didn't have BYU in C tier, did we?
we had BYU in C tier in terms of how winnable it is.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that's the lowest that we ranked any games.
This is, yeah, right. Meaning it's a very tough game.
Yes.
Salter or Juju?
Coach Faulk, I'm stoked about. Hopefully, you're gonna have this person on as a guest. I'm really keeping a lot of things close to the vest today. But I got a text from someone who knows Marshall Faulk. Said, Marshall is my guy, one of the smartest football minds of all time.
Let's go.
Definitely.
All time.
Hell yeah.
So excited to talk to that mystery texter on the show soon.
East Coast Kev rounds us out here. Salute DNVR. Is there any update on who will be joining Coach Sapp as DLine coach? No official word. Who do you guys speculate?
DeMarcus
We've
Ware.
already kind of talked about it.
Please don't bring up the words Aaron or Rodgers. So we can't say it's going to be Aaron Donald. And we can't say it's going to be Victor Rodgers.
Who is Kev a fan of again?
I can't remember.
Yeah, bro. Don't be bringing up Aaron Rodgers, bro. Unsolicited.
Sorry. I think that is the title of this documentary, though.
Oh, boy.
J-Rad said the tiers sucked.
Yeah, I'm aware. Thank you.
It's probably because it's not Monday. Or it's not Tuesday.
Thank you all for the feedback.
Somebody asked if a running back's going to get 20-plus carries under Coach Prime for the first time. And that actually happened this past year.
Yeah, the Isaiah's
Remember?
big game, right?
Yeah. 22 carries.
Was it Oklahoma State?
Oklahoma State. Utah.
Y'all want to keep trying?
I think it's Utah. I think it was Oklahoma State.
No.
What?
It was neither. It's towards the end of the season.
Kind of.
I don't
Was
know.
it Arizona? No, it was Cincy.
Cincy.
Yeah.
Okay.
22 for 91.
That was with the 40-yard touchdown or whatever, or was that a different game?
That was a different game.
Okay.
His long that game was 13 yards.
J-Rad, relax, bro. It's the off season, man. We have a few more minutes to kill.
I think this was a great show, by the way.
I thought it wasn't
So
bad,
did
but yeah, we got some playoff stuff to talk about this week. Sounds like the SEC and the Big Ten are kind of taking over the CFP. So we'll see. We've talked a lot about multiple bids for the Big 12. It doesn't look like that's going to be in our future, though. We can dig into this more tomorrow, but
I'm interested to hear more about that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's just... They pretty much already control it, bro. And that was kind of the point I was bringing up when I found out that the damn college football playoff committee chairman is literally employed by the University of Michigan. And I'm like, how is that not a conflict of interest at some level?
yep.
So, I don't know.
But yeah, it's slow right now. We still got about a month until spring football.
Less than that.
Less than that now. But spring previews are coming soon. And then we'll be back in Boulder. March 11th was the date, right?
Yeah, I think that's right, yeah.
But yeah, we'll have Neely back this week too.
Nice.
Talk to him.
Potentially another guest or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm cooking something as well.
So am I. Also, be on the lookout. My story/interview with Cameron Stillman Craig coming probably tomorrow on the site on thednvr.com. So be on the lookout. We'll definitely talk about that at some point on the show this week as well.
Let's go. Best show ever?
Potentially.
was gonna
People are
say-
saying.
A lot of people are saying that.
I was going to say slightly above average. Sure. We can't be great.
Definitely the best Buffs podcast on February 17th.
I would think so, but
Hell yeah.
I don't know. We'll be back tomorrow. It won't be Tiersday, so
Could be anything.
it could be anything. Stay tuned. Go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.